And as you can see from the very descriptive headline, "Oh, shut up." Georgetown professor says photo of U.S. Olympic swim team is evidence of Jim Crow. So imagine seeing this picture on social media posted by the USA Swimming Organization after an exciting, exhilarating Olympic trials event that was done in the football stadium in Indianapolis. It was an amazing scene if you're into competitive swimming. And here is the USA team. It says, "Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 USA Olympic team," and there they are. Just an incredible group of athletes who have just competed, and they've just reached the pinnacle, or at least the next step in their goals, which is to make the Olympic team, to go to Paris to represent our nation and hopefully get on the medal stand. I mean, we usually dominate in swimming, and this is just such a great story, and it was fantastic. Imagine looking at that photo on social media and seeing nothing but the skin color of the people in that picture. Now, that would be ridiculous. In fact, that would be racist, wouldn't it be? But that's exactly what this Georgetown professor did, named Janel George. She decided to take to X and say, "When people say that Jim Crow was so long ago, it's important to remember the lasting effects of segregated spaces, like segregated swimming pools, and the continued impact across generations. This visual reflects that legacy." So this sad, pathetic racist with a degree, an advanced degree, and a good salary from a major American university, this sad, pathetic person looks at that picture of harmony and unity and triumph and accomplishment and patriotism and sees only the skin color of the people in that picture. Can you imagine what a sad, pathetic life this person must have? So how do you deal with this? How do you respond to that kind of thing? Well, we've got a great example of it that's been displayed by our friends at our sister site at Town Hall, Twitchy. If you don't go to Twitchy on a regular basis, you're missing out because it's some of the best content. And it aggregates, of course, and comments on and celebrates some of the highest and lowest moments of social media. And as you can see from the very descriptive headline, "Oh, shut up." Georgetown professor says photo of U.S. Olympic swim team is evidence of Jim Crow. And some of the highlights there of the people who have responded really give us a good lesson on how we deal with people like this. Let's start with this one, which is just an observation that I've already laid out for you. Imagine looking at a photo of a group of athletes that trained insanely hard and qualified for the Olympics and thinking, how can I use this to complain about racism? That's exactly what she did. And that's how sad she is. Somebody else replied with, I think, honestly, the perfect response, which is, on that note, congratulations to Simone and Shane. Yeah, the two black athletes who were in that picture, who worked their asses off to achieve this incredible accomplishment on behalf of our country, who will proudly represent us in Paris, and I'm proud that they will be representing us. And this Georgetown law professor, who cares so much about black people, neglected to even acknowledge them. All she could see was racism. It's despicable and insulting to these people who have had a great achievement. So good for this tiny Princess D for making that point. But then there's also, how else do you respond? Well, you can respond by counterfactuals, by bringing up other evidence that sort of negate what this professor is trying to say about how racist America is. And the first obvious example would be this. Show them the 2024 U.S. Olympic basketball team, a group of incredible athletes who have also worked hard and trained hard and reached this great accomplishment. And I don't know about you, when I look at this picture, I see great basketball players, pro basketball players. I see a team that nobody on the planet wants to play on the hardwood. And it doesn't even occur to me to look at it and think, wow, where are all the white people? You know why I look at this picture and I don't say, geez, they're all black? Because I'm not racist. or I don't have an advanced degree and a professorship at a major American college university. I just see a great basketball team that's going to represent us and probably win the gold going away. While we're at it, don't even have to look at basketball. What about the track and field team? As Jason says, they look great. They run fast. They'll represent the country well. Go USA. And the majority of the runners and sprinters and jumpers on the track and field team for the United States Olympic team are Black. And you may be saying to yourself as I make this point, so what? And my answer to it is, you're right. We shouldn't care. Unless you're a professor at Georgetown University, and then all you can see. You see, because the only objectionable thing when it comes to this stuff is if everyone in the picture or the predominant number of people in the picture are white. But if everybody's Black, well, that's fine. That's not an indication of anything, right? I mean, that's the message that they're sending to us. So we'll go back to Professor George's. I do love that her X name here is JG for Justice. And we'll look at some of the other good replies, because the next step, the next response that we can do is to just make fun of her and to mock her for the racist idiot that she is. And this is one of my favorites, Hilaria Bryden, Esquire. It says, Black people should be allowed to swim. I mean, after all, it is 2024. What is wrong with our country that we still don't allow Black people to swim? I mean, they might drown if they don't get some basic lessons after all. Yes, the mocking really needs to go on, but also present some other ideas that might sort of fly in the face of this incredibly racist observation. You see, we're told that this is all about Jim Crow and the lasting legacy of segregated swimming pools, where Ramrod on Twitter points out a very important challenge to that. If that were true, why aren't any African nations swimming powerhouses? Your whiny, constant victims are disgusting. I mean, that is a fair enough point. It's not like any predominantly Black country dominates in swimming competitions, and they didn't have any segregated swimming pools. I'm pretty sure that in a predominantly African country, every single swimming pool was dominated by young Black kids learning how to swim. The Jamaicans always produce a great sprinter, right? That is a predominantly Black country. Why don't they also produce dominating swimmers? If it's just about racism, if it's just about Jim Crow, if it's just about segregation. And there's another way to make this argument, by the way. As Greg, Harmful Opinion, points out, Canada, our northern neighbor, did not have slavery, did not have segregation, did not have Jim Crow. How many Black swimmers do they have on their Olympic team? They have a lot of Black Canadians. And then he asked the rhetorical question, you do know that every single statistical disparity isn't a result of racism, right? Whereupon her response would be, no, actually, I don't know that. As far as I'm concerned, everything that I look at has to do with Jim Crow racism, and most importantly, that white people are evil. Now give us our reparations. Further along the mockery lane, though, I do like this graphic. When memes say it all, racism is pretty much dead, if not at least, in the final throes. But Democrats are trying desperately to revive it. You see, these are all ways that we can respond, with humor, with insults, with disparaging remarks, with facts that point out the racism of the actual person making this statement rather than the racism they perceive. But I still like this one. It's short, it's succinct, it's powerful, and it puts us back where we're supposed to be. This is from the Republican National Hispanic Assembly. Republican Hispanics? Yeah, that's right. They posted the picture and said it all. It's not about race. It's about America. Let's go. And if you're my generation and you're starting to shop colleges for your kids who are about to graduate, I just made life a lot easier for you. Or to be more specific, uh, Professor Janel George just made things a lot easier for you. One more college you can take off your list of consideration, Georgetown University. It's a beautiful campus. It's right across the Potomac from the town hall offices where we originate this show. We can look out our windows and see Georgetown every day. It's beautiful. Don't send your kids there. God, please don't send your kids to Georgetown.